Okay, Charlie Brown theme song part 2. We're still using the lapel mic here. Hopefully, you know, I don't know. Whatever you guys decide on that, whatever you guys think sounds better. If it's going to irritate you to have the Tascam thing, if you can sacrifice guitar tone just to not have to deal with the room noise, that's fine. Whatever you guys want. So just let me have a comment. You know, tell me something about it so I can know what will sound better. Okay, so second part. We've already went on the first part. Let's play through the first part and see where we're at so far. That's where we're at. And there's one thing that I just realized I forgot to point out on the last one. You may have noticed it. After the when we go back to, let's see, oh, it was this right here, excuse me, it was after this part. Well, what I'm doing there, that's the part I forgot to mention. So after the F, it's going to go for the same melody. In the D. So what I usually do is I just bar that. I bar that so that I can still have the G sharp note here for the D chord. Okay. And all I'm really focusing on is the D, the G, and the B strings of that chord. Okay, that is an E note. That's the second. So it's kind of like a suspended D chord there. The D suspended 2, with the suspension in the root instead of the D in the root. So it could be a suspended 2, or I don't know. It doesn't have a 7, so I don't think it can be a 9th. So we're going to go for a D suspended 2 there, with the suspended 2 being a lower end version. But anyway, without getting a whole lot of theory, we usually in guitar, one of the cool things about doing a solo or a solo piece is that let me go ahead and make sure I'm zoomed, by the way. It's one thing I keep forgetting about. So I'm going to try to make sure that in a solo piece, what I'm thinking about is you want to do a low part. But you also, it sounds better when you're going after the first go round. It's the first, everything's been done, all that, and so it's basically starting over here. So what I want to do from there is to make it stand out. So what I'm going to usually go is, we're in a low part, so I'm usually going to go to a higher part. So what I'm doing is I'm thinking the D shape here, the D chord in the C shape. Play like a C chord and move it up 1, 2 steps. So that's a whole step, 2 frets. But I'm only going to use these notes here. So I've got my ring finger at the 4th fret of the D string, and my first finger is at the 3rd fret of the B string. And I'm kind of using the pick on the D and my middle finger here, or one of the other fingers you're choosing, on the B string. And what I'm doing is I'm sliding that up in, I think it's thirds. You're going to go with a half step up, but this time, instead of using this finger, you're going to put your ring finger down on the B string, the same fret that you just slid up to, the 5th fret. So Okay, and then from there you can go up a whole step. It's the same notes as the classic turnaround. But it starts right here with a D note. That's where you know to begin, is because you start with your root here. You've got a little slant, a little diagonal. Then you've got this little string skipping thing where the G string is being skipped, but you've got these same fingers on the same fret of different strings. Okay, the G string is also skipped in this shape. Okay, so I guess the best way to say it is this one's got a slant, these two are straight vertical up and down. And once again, like I was talking about keeping the bass going while you're hitting that in between each one. Now you can palm mute it or just like that. You want to do the same thing right here. And let's try it again slowly. Let's see. And instead of coming all the way back down here to go, what I tried to do was get some harmonics, and that is on the 7th fret. The harmonic is, that's your D harmonic. You're going to hit the right over the fret, not in the middle, not between where the dot should be, but right over here on the top of the fret. You got 3 or 4 main harmonic points that have the strongest harmonics on a guitar, acoustic especially. And one of them is the 7th fret. You can consider that. That's your D chord. That's your G chord on the 5th fret, the D, G, and B strings. And then also the G chord is right here on the 12th fret. So you have the G here for a lower sound and a higher sound here. And in the middle, on the 7th fret, you got the D. You also have the 4th string. That's a little tougher. I'm not sure which chord that corresponds with, but anyway, I'm focusing on the 7th fret harmonics here. Except I'm not going to hit those 3 notes. I'm going to hit the G note, and then down here, the 12th frets applies to the other strings as well, not just those 3. You got harmonics on all these. And what it is the octave of the open string. The same note, except a higher register, higher pitch. So what I'm going to use out of that, I'm going to use one note from the 12th fret, and I'm going to start here on the 7th fret. You're going to have to use your first finger and see. You're going to kind of switch from here, go immediately to your first finger, and to play harmonic, if you know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you just barely put your finger on top of the string. I mean, just barely. It's not like you're going to push the fret. You're going to barely put it on top of the string, on top of the fret, and as soon as you pluck it, take your hand away. And the lower strings might be better for you to try to start doing that because they're easier to play. I'm just barely putting my finger on, and then I'm not lifting off after I pluck the finger, the string. It'll still make a harmonic if you leave your finger on it, just barely touching it. But it'll die out really quick because it's vibrating against your finger, and you can kind of feel a tickle there. So you want to, as soon as you pluck it, pluck, and then let go. Okay, so that's how you do a harmonic. So after this, hit the bass one more time, and then hit the G string, 7th fret harmonic, E string, 12th fret harmonic, B string, 7th fret harmonic twice. come immediately after this, hit the bass again, start there again. So really slow, and I'm going to back out and zoom in twice. Okay, so we got and that's where it goes to the F. Okay, well, let's do this one more time. I want you to notice some things that's happening here. First of all, we're sliding, pick and slide, slide back down, and then this is a little tough. It's kind of a slide and then a hammer on at the same time. You want to practice that. It's kind of a difficult thing to do at first, but keep practicing, you get used to it. If you have to practice individual like that. Or you could try this, practice them one at a time. I know it's not going to sound right, we're focusing on the slide right now. So instead of playing that and get your ears messed up, just play this one note. And then the same thing here. Keep the same shape, but focus on one note. And put them together. So. Then you need to be ready to come back down here. And that's where we're going to come back down. And we're going to focus on what I do is I just slide this down a whole fret, or 2 frets, a whole note to get to that C shape, but I'm going to use the G, the F note here. Okay, so we're going to do that much. Okay, so remember after the F, we're going to bar that, like I talked about at the first of the video. Now, what you could do is do that again. Okay, you could do that again, and then come back down to, and then once again to that we talked about in part 1. Or you could do like I did and go immediately to this other section here. A couple more things we're going to cover, and then we'll be done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little shape here. I've got my ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string. My first finger is on the 5th fret of the G string, so it's a whole step space. And we've got the same diagonal here that we got going on here, except it was 2 fingers and there's a whole fret in between. So we got that going on, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm playing those 2 strings with the open B and the open E. Just kind of give it its own little rhythm. I'm just doing some random picking, no pattern or anything. So it's after this. And that's what that is I'm moving my first finger down half a step, 4th fret, and putting my middle finger on the 5th fret of the D string. So we got a D, a G, and the 2 notes here coming together. And this is the Bluegrass D here, like we said. It's the same shape as up here, but it's down here, the 4th fret D string, 2nd fret G string, and then this comes down on the 3rd fret B string to make the D shape. And I'm letting the suspended open up. I'm not barring. Just gives it more of a better, just a better sound. So I'll do that twice. Okay, and really the top two strings, this is kind of like a weird A minor. You can play the top two strings. Kind of gives it the same theme. Okay, I'm going to go back to the D, and after I do that twice, I can just go. Okay, all that is I'm hitting that A, that bar, and then I'm playing like you would a G in the F shape, but I'm using these two fingers instead. So it's first finger, or middle finger, B string 3rd fret, ring finger, G string 4th fret. And then I'm just sliding that up a couple steps. And then holding it there, and then maybe a good. And then this second part is when I do a really crazy fast riff I'll teach you. Okay, and all I'm doing there is I decided to do a blazing fast riff. Don't even know if it's the right time or anything, but I just try to rush it in there to get it to sound right. And all it is after that part, all I'm going to do is, now we're using the top three strings. We're going to do the same shape for the top two. So on the E string, we're going to do a whole step and a half step. So we start with the 2nd fret, ring finger on the 4th, pinky on the 5th, and I'm going to do the same thing on the next string. Okay, so, and then all I'm doing there is coming back down to that, kind of like the last note I pick here. All I'm doing is pulling off 2 times, and you kind of do that to make it. You're going to have to do that to make it fast enough to do. And you're doing the same thing. You're going to walk it back up. Walk it back up. And then open. And I'm just kind of, it's hard to explain the picking on this. It's alternate picking if you want to do alternate picking. But it's going to sound bad, so I use those. And I do it different every time. That's the main gist of it. Sometimes I pull off to the open A. And sometimes I don't pick as much. Sometimes after I pull off, I just completely hammer on everything and then pick on the next string. Cool thing about drop D is whatever you play on the first string, you can play on the second string and get away with. And so there you have it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. It's been a workout for sure on my hand, but we'll try to get some more bluegrass stuff for you along the way. And let me know once again about the sound, if you like it better with you know, to me this guitar, when I listen to it, it sounds muffled with the lapel mic, because for one thing, the sound is coming here, but all you're getting is the back of the guitar, which sounds, you know, really muffled, and like it's got a, I don't know, some kind of windsock of its own inside the guitar. I mean, it sounds better. Well, let's just do this. Let's just give you an example here. From the guitar, back of the guitar. Okay, so it sounds better coming from the front. I mean, I would lay this thing down here. I've had so many problems of trying to lose it. And for one thing, my voice sounds different here than it does here. So I've actually tried to use a splitter and feed the splitter into the camcorder, but one part of the splitter isn't working. So I got to figure out a better way to get that to work. I think I I just now realized I've got another splitter. I may try that. I may try both. So we'll work on that. But you guys, stay tuned for the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to get rid of this lapel mic and bid you guys a great day, and stay tuned for some more great guitar lessons coming your way.